recording. Bob, yes, Tuesday night was recorded a little bit later today. It will be today. I will get an email that goes out to everybody that will give you the recording of Tuesday night, as well as a free download for Rick's J-Hook ebook. When you get it, you'll have to register to get it. Okay, you put your email and stuff in, you register, and the reason it's that way is because we're sending that out. We're gonna send it out to non-members and stuff too, and so you'll have to do the registration, which doesn't hurt. It's just name and email address, and then they'll both be emailed to you. The link to that class, as well as the download link for his ebook. Okay. So let's start off here with Thinkorswim. We have a lot of Thinkorswim users in here. And when you open up Thinkorswim for the first time, it's going to kind of look like this. You're going to have this sidebar over here. And this is where you can put watch lists and everything else in here, build whatever you want in here on this. And a lot of people don't know how much there is available in here. Now you can see there's all these little arrows on Thinkorswim, open and close something. And if you see these little icons like this, that's a menu. Okay, so just about everything in Thinkorswim is customizable. Okay, so I could detach this whole side and float it, put it in another window, put it someplace else. So there's lots of convertibility here on Thinkorswim. And then you have all of the different watch lists. You can have as many watch lists as you want. The only problem I have with them is they're a little bit cumbersome to manage and deal with. And so I don't use any of these watch lists. Okay. What I like to do on my main I leave my main open all the time, this watch list. What I do is I have a list of all of the futures over here so that I can kind of keep an eye on what the futures market is doing. So it's whatever you want to key on. You could have one that's just current portfolio or something like that over here. Whatever you choose to have in here. Now, you can also see these stars across here. You can hide this information in here. So if you open it up, okay, there's this privacy button, and you can shut it off so that if you're showing this to somebody, if you got friends or family over and you don't want them to see what your account has in it, then you shut it off. Okay. And then you'll get all of these stars like this, and it will hide your accounts, your account numbers, and those kind of thing. Kind of handy if you've got other people and you're working with them, helping them see something. Now, even though I do have that ability to shut all that stuff off, I still don't like to show my live account on the internet. I just have a problem with that, and so I don't. And just in case I accidentally click something and reveal my accounts or something, I'm not going to do that. Just to accidentally do that. Now you also have the ability, if you don't know this, you can have live news feed in here. So if I put in, let's put in that Caterpillar. Caterpillar was doing some stuff today. If I put in a ticker here, This is going to give me all news that relates to Caterpillar, that Caterpillar's either mentioned or something in here. So I can look here and catch really quickly all of the news or live stuff that might be happening to Caterpillar. By the way, this is adjustable. You can grab this center line. Whoops. You can grab this center line and drag this over as far as you want. So you can have plenty of space here for information. Notice that when I put in CAT here, I get this company profile. I click on that and I get another pop-up window. And that pop-up window tells me all about the fundamentals of Caterpillar. The business summary, their valuations, the full meal deal. I get a full fundamental picture of the company. Okay, and that'll come up in a lot of places where you can receive that information. Sorry, this is taking a while to load back and forth. You can also add as many columns as you want to your watch list, whatever you want to watch and look at. In your watch list, you can have those there. So that's pretty handy. And that's just on this side, all that functionality. Now, normally when I'm doing it here, I want as much screen space over here for the charts and the stuff so you guys can see them. I close this up and I just shut it down. By the way, you have a lot more little tools in here than you can use. Quick quote. I use a lot for a quick quote. When I am particularly around an earnings event, I'll tuck something in if earnings is coming out. I'll tuck that in there and I get a quick look at the market. Even if the market is closed and there's an earnings event, these will be moving based on the price action after earnings. So anything that you want here, there's a lot more. Like if we take the live news and I say I want to switch it to a different gadget, look at all the different gadgets in here. You can have a calculator. There's even games if you want to play a game. Let's see, they still have, yeah, Tetris. Look right there. You can play Tetris when the market's boring right here on the Thinkorswim platform. Why it's there in Minesweeper. I've never played them, but I know that they're there. And then Message Center, you know, live audio. There's lots of live audio that you can access here on Thinkorswim. So there's that going on. Trader TV. Trader TV, you turn that on, you get CNBC. Will be right there. And I don't, yeah, they took Tasty Trade off of here. I guess they didn't like the fact that Tom Sosnoff opened another brokerage firm. But there's Tom Sosnoff has another company. It's called Tasty Trade, and he's opened another brokerage firm. And they used to broadcast it live in the platform here. So you can watch TV right here on your platform if you want that distraction. That's not something for me, but it is there. Level 2 quotes. You can also get level 2 quotes right here. If we put in right here, we can see all the different market makers out there and what they're quoting for Microsoft. Now you really don't have to worry about that in Thinkorswim because they automatically route to the best price. So you don't have to worry about that too much, but you can get those level 2s and it doesn't cost you anything more for level 2. There's time and sales. That's really useful for fast day traders, Forex, and just all kinds of stuff. that you can pick up right here as a gadget, and that can be pretty handy. Here's the use the news information. It's constantly scrolling for news and information on the market. So there's tons of things here that you can use to help you work for your efficiency in your trading. And you can open up more of these if you want. It's just have as many of these in here, different watch lists or things that you want. And then you can detach them and move them around, have them wherever you want them. I'm going to close this back up. Okay. I'm going to jump to, everyone kind of knows a little bit about the trade page, I think, but you guys might not know about these. I find a lot of people just glaze over it. They don't see it. The account statement, you can go into the account statement and you can actually open things up individually. Okay. Account summary. Look at the summary of the account, even your commissions and stuff year to date. If you trade Forex, you can look at the Forex summary here. So you can open this stuff up individually. All your P&Ls can open up and you can see every one and it tracks it for you. And then any options that you've purchased, it shows you the buy price, the sell price, and it stores that information right here for you under options, which is really, really handy at times if you can't remember what you've done in a trade. And this can be adjusted. Any of these columns can be sorted and adjusted. So if you want something moved over here or a different column, you can do that. You can change how it's sorted by symbol or whatever, by account, by overall. You can sort all of this stuff, which makes it pretty handy. It works a lot just like an Excel spreadsheet would. Okay. Now FX, Forex, if you trade Forex, you can get all of that information right here for Forex trading. Any of your Forex statements, if you do any of those trades. And Strategy Roller is a tool if you're looking to roll an option trade. Okay, you can look in here and roll positions. Okay, because it's saying right now I don't have any eligible positions to roll. If I had eligible positions to roll, it would show up in here and then give you some clues about what it means to roll, how to roll. Okay. On the trade page, a lot of people skip past this if they don't know that it's here. We all know that we get our quotes from the stock right here, and then all of our option chains here. But a lot of people don't go past this. There's statistics that you can get. Today's option stats, and it tells you total volume. There's been 4,500 calls bought, 4,400 puts bought. Tells you lots of information and data about the actual trading, what's going on in the stock itself. Tells you the implied volatility. Okay. You also have option time and sales. So here we've got CVX up here as a ticker, and it shows us time and sales when trades are coming through on the options of CVX, and it will live tick them through as trades come through for the time and sales on options. So you can see right here at 11:08:29. Well, here we just moved again. 11:08:50, we had one contract purchased. A delta minus 13. Yikes. So you can see the trades coming in. Here's a 3 contract trade that just went through. So you can see those right up front. And then product depth. Product depth gives you what's called the smile graphs. Or the smile skew is what they might call it. Volatility skew, you might hear it called. You can see this is put implied volatility, and this is call implied volatility. Now, a lot of option traders will call this a smile skew because you get this really weird thing. And it's showing how the volatility of the options play out on specific months. Each one of these colors you'll see relates to one of these down here. It tells you what weekly or monthly contracts apply to that color and shows you, if you hover over the top, what the implied volatility of those options are. So you can see the implied volatility of these options right through here on CVX on that blue one is 176%. That's extremely high implied volatility, obviously. So as we get out into here, notice that those volatility numbers drop considerably. And then they rise again, and that's the volatility skew out there. If you wanted to learn more about it, you'll have to do some research on your own. It's a pretty in-depth subject, to tell you the truth. Okay, there's also the Forex Trader. Forex Trader, if you like trading currencies, and by the way, I do trade currencies from time to time. Not very often, but I do trade them from time to time. Currencies are sold or purchased by what's called a pip. And you can see the pip right here is 0.0001. 5 decimal places. Okay. And what you pay in commissions, there's no actual commission charge like there is like anything else. You just pay the pip. Okay. Now, all currencies are done in pairs. You're buying one against another. They're traded in pairs. If you don't understand that, that's okay. If you want to learn more about it, again, that's something you have to look into. But currencies can be great, particularly for people who are extremely busy and have no time to at all during the day to trade. You can trade currencies all night long. Currencies trade, 24 hours a day, except for the weekend here. So you can trade currencies all night long. They're not as active as at night, but you can certainly trade them. And it really is as simple as saying buy or sell. Boom, boom. Which one do you want? Buy it or sell it. And you see you're controlling. This is set automatically. You're buying a $10,000 lot. Okay. That's what you're controlling in this trade. 10,000 bucks. Okay. And you can increase or decrease that. If you want to do 100,000 bucks, you can see it's going to cost you $1.10. And I mean, when you think about it, just click it and you're controlling $100,000. It's pretty crazy stuff. Futures. A futures trader allows you right here to have the same kind of just simple entry and exit as as you would in currencies, but I would not recommend that at all for if you're a futures trader. And you can see these are charts down here. I'll show you if you're interested in futures trader or futures trading, how you would want to do that. Then there's the active trader, and the active trader, this is where I would come, or where I go to trade futures. Okay. And that's the futures trader. And I don't know if we're going to get data here or not with my speed, but probably not on that contract. There's no contract. We are in the U contracts. There we go. The U7. And anytime I trade futures, I trade them from here. Now this over here, you can actually trade stocks with this. All right. This is called a DOM, or depth of market. And depth of market is used to trade, okay, because it shows, it displays all of the prices. If I adjust these out a little bit, you can actually see the prices in the middle there. Here, there we go. Okay. So there is your chart and your depth of market. So you trade directly from this. And you can see there's several buttons, and we can actually customize these buttons in here, where we can have all kinds of setups what we want. We can have a button that just reverses. I mean, it's a one click. You're in a long trade, click that button, you're in a short trade. Okay. You have a one button to flatten, to sell everything, be out. One button to flatten. And, you know, all these different things that you can do in here. So you can customize how your depth of market works. But to buy something, let's say we wanted to get in, this is the diamonds, by the way, or the YM, the Dow futures. Dow futures is a YM. The S&P 500 is ES. The NASDAQ is the NQ. Okay. The Russell is the TF. But if you're trading those, and you can trade gold or oil or whatever, you know, gold, you know, futures is the GC, silver is SI. Then there's currencies, and you know, if you want to trade the euro, it's 6E. There's just tons of stuff you can trade in futures. Fred, this is being recorded. So if you want to use a depth of market, if you day trade stocks even, you can trade this in a stock, and it really is as simple as you just pick a place where you want to buy. You can see the biggest volumes are right in here, and you can see right on the DOM that there's 12 orders, 13 orders for buy, and there's 10 orders, 12 orders, 6 orders for sell. And you can see they're always moving around. Those are orders flying through the market. And you can see if there's buy pressure or sell pressure on a trade. And you can pick a spot. If I look over here on this chart and say, I want to get short the diamonds if it drops below like this 21.98, I can just come over here to 21.98. 21.98 right there. And go maybe one tick below and just click it. And now my order to sell or to short the futures is right there on the chart. I can see exactly where I want to be short. If that drops through that level, it will automatically enter me into the trade. If I look at it, and by the way, on the diamonds or the YM, every tick, okay, these are called ticks, is $5. So a one contract move that moves down, you know, just a few ticks, it's $5 per tick. So you can see a day like today where we're swinging like 80 points back and forth. Futures traders love this because look at the money that can be made in these big swings. All right, you can see this trade's about ready to get hit. And you can do this with a stock on even on a daily chart. You can use the depth of market for your entries. So I'm just got entered into that trade. So now I'm in a futures trade short. So if I were to come over here and I say I want to buy it to cover this, let's just put it down here a couple more ticks. There's my order to buy. And it'll tell you up here at the top whether you're positive or negative in the trade. You can see right at the moment I'm flat. P&L day is 0. Now I'm down $5. Okay, now I'm flat again. This is not something for the faint of heart. Okay, so I just got out and I made $15. Okay, and when the market is flying around like this, that's how fast this can happen. So these big moves here, I have this chart set to 333 ticks. That means every 333 trades in the market creates a bar. So these can be extremely fast moves. And you can see these big moves here, these big reversals, how quickly that can move. Now it's enticing to a lot of people to do futures trading. And it's okay if you come over here in this practice and just practice, because what it's going to do is improve your skills on spotting support and resistance and good entry and exit signals. The on-demand to replay the day. I used to do that. I haven't done that for years, but that can be real handy if you want to replay the day. Here's the thing about replaying the day, though, that is a little bit of a problem. And that is you've kind of seen the day. You kind of know what's happening. If you want to practice your signals in trading, go to a shorter term chart like this and trade right here. Trade it in a paper account. I'm telling you, you will learn a lot about price action watching this. But here's the thing I hate about it. I love the action. I love to be able to trade this way. I really do. I hate being stuck to the computer like that because you can't take your eyes off of this, particularly in a fast market. It moves so fast. All right. Well, you can see how long was I in that trade? 30 seconds? Maybe a minute? It moves so fast that you have to be on your game. And what I mean by that is you've got to be focused and on your game, because if you're not, if you fight this, it will cost you thousands of dollars in about half a heartbeat. See, if I wasn't demonstrating it, I could have just put a stop in and followed this down. So if you like the idea of futures trading, or if you want to practice, the reason I'm spending so much time on this, if you want to practice your trading signals, maybe change this to like a 10 or a 5-minute chart. And then just practice seeing the signals. Practice seeing support and resistance. Practice your entries. Can you guys see that this right here was about the perfect entry? This was the move up, the breakthrough, and right there, the pullback, and the buy point at support. You see it right there? And that's why I went short right here. We had rallied up when I first turned this on. We hit right here and started back down. And so all I did was look at the support level of those two candles and said if it falls below there, it's probably going to go down. And I put an order in there. So you have to be right on top of your game for those signals. And watching that price action like that will help you improve your signals. This little arrow down here, by the way, 333 ticks is what we're after here to create a new bar. We've only got 267 ticks right now, 288. And it's a countdown, tells you how quickly that's happening. On a fast market, like it was over here, those will just zip by and your candle's done. Okay, it just rips. So that's going pretty fast at times, and then it'll just get excruciatingly slow at times. Okay, so kind of handy if you like that kind of thing. And this is where you do your practice and use that depth of market is nice. Now, you can also open up a lot of other features over here. Like time and sales is kind of fun to watch sometimes in a fast market. If you open up time and sales, you actually see every trade as it goes through the market. Okay, how many contracts are going through? And you can see the bears are winning right now. Notice how it just all of a sudden washed in red. Now the bulls are trying to bring it back. There's the bulls coming back in. They're trying to make it bounce, trying to buy the low. You just washed in red, or excuse me, in green. And see them coming back here? So you can actually watch the flow of the market. It's an interesting thing to do if you like that. Now, a lot of people, this would just make them nuts. This is just too much data, too much overload. I can't do it. And if you're that person, do not ever come over here because it will make you sick. Okay? So there's lots of other tools. There's that time and sales. Whoops, that's all kinds of stuff that you can click in here. Here's your chart, a different chart that you can have down here. So you can do lots of different things. Your level 2 and everything is here as well if you want your level 2 on your symbol. So there's tons of, and the news. If you want to have the news feeding through here at the same time. So lots of stuff that you can do. And again, all of this stuff can be broken apart. You can break this off and move this to another screen. You can also make this automatic. Okay. If, let's see, where is it in here? Oh, I forget. Auto send on and off. Why did that not move over? Now I should have an auto send button over here, an on and off for auto send, so that when I click on something and say I want to buy this, there's not that confirmation window that came up before. Like right here, this confirmation window. Oh, right here, here's the button. So I can turn this on. Okay, and I won't get at this account statement. Okay, it's as soon as I click that button, it will auto send that order. Just bang. So it's instant. Bang. Okay. So you can have an auto send on here if you choose. All right, pairs trader. Now pairs trading, again, you're going to have to do a little research on this. But pairs trading is something where you take two different items, maybe either two different sectors or two different opposing type stocks, and you trade one against the other like you would a currency. So let's say, for example, you believed Walmart was going to take over Amazon. Not likely, right? But you could say, well, I believe Walmart's going to take share away from Amazon, so I'm going to buy Walmart and sell Amazon at the same time. That's pairs trading. Okay? And they offset each other a little bit, and pretty handy at times if you know how to pairs trade. You'll want to do some research on that if you decide to do some pairs trading, but that's available here. Okay, let's spend some time on the Analyze tab. Now, Analyze is one of the, for an option trader, is one of the best places you can go and spend a lot of time on Thinkorswim. Okay, because not only can you do the analyzation of an actual trade, you can do lots of other stuff in here. You've got your economic data. Okay, you can come in here and find out about what's going on in the world. All right, you've got think back. Think back allows you to go back in time and take a look at the price of an option on a specific day and time. Can be handy from time to time. And then fundamentals. You know, if we wanted to know the fundamentals of CVX, here's all your fundamentals plus a whole list of how institutions are rating them. So you can see hold, S&P Capital's got it at 3 stars, neutral at Credit Suisse, and all these different things are telling us the street has CVX as a buy. And then you can go over here and you can download their information on that. Most people don't know this is here. Tons of information here on it. And then roll on down and you can learn more about the company. You can write down in here what their profitability has been, what their 5-year trends are, year over year, dividends. You know, anything that you want to know fundamentally is right here. Did anybody know this was even here? For those of you that like to do some fundamental analysis, tons of information here. Tons of information here. Some people just, I know there are people that just like to come over here and like to look and see what the institutions are rating these at. So if we were to go to, let's go like Apple. Okay. There's only one company here saying hold. Everybody else is saying buy, long, outperform, 5-star. Okay, well, what's happening to Apple right now? That's why I want to make my own decisions, not follow these guys. But if you're looking for a long-term trade, you might want to come over here. If you wait for the long-term signal in the chart and everybody's still positive on it, then you might find an entry into a trade. So there's a lot of ways that you could use that to your advantage. So that can be handy for some folks. But let's go back here to the simulated trade side. And I like this because I get to play around here and it doesn't affect my account at all. So I can say, well, I'm thinking about buying C. Okay. Let's look over here at C and see what they're saying about C. Well, the majority are saying they're pretty happy with it, that C is a buy. And if we come back over here and we start looking at that trade that we were looking at, let's go out here to that January 2018 and let's look at that option. If we were to buy that, now notice that I clicked it, it just automatically makes it, assumes that we've bought it. We go to the risk profile tab and now we get to see what that looks like on the chart. Okay. And we can look at our risk reward and everything on this. And then we can start putting combinations in. Well, what would this look like buying that position if we were to take a short-term option like this July and sell this one here for 49 cents? So now we can go back and see what that trade looks like. All right. This is our covered call or fig leaf chart. We can see what that looks like. And then these are called slices. And we can kind of work around in these slices and see the different probabilities of a trade. Okay. Now this gray area, this grayed out area, is telling us the expected move right now in C. Based on the implied volatility, what this stock has a potential to move to. Now it's just a guess because that's just what everybody is guessing in their trades. Okay. But if we were to slide all of these together, I think this can be handy sometimes for people to really see a trade. Notice when we slide all these together, it's telling us the exact truth of any time we enter a trade. It's basically 50-50 chance. If we look and say, what's the odds of this stock making it up to here? Okay. Well, there's about a 49% probability that the stock will stay between here and up to here for that trade. It's saying there's only about a 10% probability it goes out up into through here. Well, if we move that down a little bit closer, what's the probability right here? About a 46% that the stock could move up into here. So you can get a lot of information about the move of a stock messing around with those slices. And then you can think about, well, what happens if this really moves up? What would I do in this if I wanted to modify this trade? Well, what if we did something, and I'm just going to put something on here to show you. What if I did something, and this is what I used to do a lot of. I mean, I was always out here playing in this, learning more about this. If I come out here and I sold two of those and bought this one and bought this one, and now I'm going to look back here at the risk profile. Look what happened. Remember how this flattened out right in here? Okay. What I did is I combined our trade here, our fig leaf trade, with a butterfly. And if the stock were to rally up really strong, I'm actually increasing my profitability here by adding in that butterfly. See how it's lifted that up? It's changed the profile of the trade. So if the stock was moving really fast and ended up right in here about the 70, I've increased my profitability here substantially on that trade. So you can learn how to modify and put on complicated trades, and it doesn't cost you anything. You can't mess it up. Okay. And then you can adjust it and see what that would do. I learned so much about option trading right here, messing with this and working the different situations of a trade. What would you do if it falls down here? Well, how can I modify that? What would it do if it moves up here? Well, how could I modify that? What could I do to protect or modify a trade? You can learn so much about doing it right here. So, and then, once your trade, once you've kind of messed with it, you can set it, or if you like this, you can just right click on here anywhere and say confirm and send. You can send that off to the market as a trade. If you want to get rid of it, then you just click the X's over here, start over with something else, and keep practicing. If you guys will give me just a second, I'll be right back. And that restart this recording here. Okay, so you can learn a lot about options working with that Analyze tab and figuring out trades right here. It's really, really sweet, and there's just a ton of information here. Now, if we go back to the trade page here for just a second, I wanted to make note, because a lot of people don't realize this. If let's say we're looking at these July contracts, and I've got this set up right now so that it's just showing me, single contracts. Okay. Just single contracts. Now I can change that if I choose to. See right here where it says single? I can change that to a vertical or a back ratio or a calendar or whatever. And what it's going to do, if vertical is a credit spread, by the way. So if I click on vertical, you can see it lists down the strikes as a vertical spread. And it lists my prices of what those vertical spreads would be right here on the chain. A lot of people don't know you can do that. So if you like to trade butterflies, you can just come right over here and click butterfly, and it shows you the possibilities of butterfly trades and what those would be. Now that doesn't mean you can't modify them. You could modify that, but what it's doing is showing modified, or it's combining everything up and showing you the possibilities of those trades, how you might find them. So instead of leaving, you can mess around with that if you choose to. For that. Now I've had people ask me, how do I get this layout? Well, right here, so click that down button, okay? And see, I selected Delta Gamma Theta Vega. So it puts Delta Gamma Theta Vega right on my chain. And then I just take Vega and I change it to open interest, or whatever I want. I use this column as the column I'm always changing. Okay. Very handy in customizing how you do this. Also, you can decide how many strikes that you want open at one time. And you can see I've got mine set to all. I like doing that. But if maybe you just want to have 10 strikes open, you can shorten that up and just have 10 strikes that you look at. Very, very handy tool. Okay, so let's go over here to, if you wanted to trade something, a lot of folks don't know this. Oh, theoretical price? Sure. I just changed one of the columns here to the theoretical price tool. You just click on that little column right there, and you go down here, it's in the option theoreticals and Greeks. And right here's Theo price. Okay, if you click on that, brings it up. And then it brings it up here into your little toolbar area. And all you got to do is open it up. Just click on it, open it up. So you have an adjustment for the date, an adjustment for the stock price, an adjustment for implied volatility. So let's say we're going to buy this 100 strike or 100 strike call here on CVX. If we wanted to buy that, and let's say we think the stock has a potential of going up $5. So we just put 5 in here and hit enter. Okay, and it moves our price up by $5. Now it tells me this option, if it goes up $5, should be worth somewhere around $11.57. But notice we didn't change anything else. If we think that'll take 2 weeks to do, come over here to your calendar. We're buying it here and we think it's going to take about 2 weeks to do. Go to there and see what it does to the price. You can see the price lowered. It's at $11.47, $11.45. Okay, by giving it 2 extra weeks. What if implied volatility moves up by 1%? What will that do with it? Okay, so it tells us that 1% move really didn't change anything here. What if it moves up by 15%? Okay, that changes it. 15% change in implied volatility makes a big difference here. So you can make those adjustments and work in there. And then just click reset to reset it all back to 0 and start over. Pretty darn handy tool to have. Okay, if we wanted to buy that option, a lot of folks will just click that to bring the order up. Okay, that's fine. You can do that. But what if you wanted to do a combination? You wanted to have an order and a stop loss at the same time. Well, if you right click on it rather than left click, you get a menu that pops up. And you can go down here to buy custom. You can buy it with an OCO bracket, order cancels order. You can buy it with a stop limit. You can buy it with a stop. So if we come over here and buy it with a stop, notice we have 2 orders. One is the buy order and one is a market order to sell it at a specific price. So we can set our order to buy and our order to sell and send it off at the same time. And as soon as we get filled on the trade, the stop loss is in place. Very, very handy tool. Okay, I don't show that very much, but that is a very handy tool and how you can quickly put on trades with stops. Okay. Let's go, because we're running out of time. There's so much to cover in Thinkorswim. It really is going to require a lot more of this. Over here is the scan. This is what you have to do to scan. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. You can go learn how to do it. But essentially what you can do, you can see it scanning prices. So we've got a minimum of $3, and let's say we have a maximum of $50. Okay, so it's scanning everything between 3 and 50, and volume 300,000 to max. Okay, and then we can add more things in here. We can add more criteria. So let's say we wanted to add a study filter. What the heck? I guess it doesn't work here. Yeah, it's only available in live trading. Well, you can add a study filter here, like prices above the 50-day moving average. those kind of things. But like I say, it's really cumbersome, and then you've got to adjust all of this other stuff. And if we run this scan right here, all of your scan results will show up in this list down here. Okay. Now, one thing I do find pretty handy, there's this option hacker, but spread hacker. I've always found this in spread book is kind of interesting. If you go into a spread hacker here, you know, you can do a little scanning for a spread. But if you come over here to the spread book, and let's put in like CVX, see what's happening. Okay, in CVX, you can look and see all of the orders that are setting on the Thinkorswim server. So if you're struggling as a trader, you don't exactly know what to do, you can get a lot of clues here. So you can take this one right here. You can see somebody wants to buy 4 calls, the 110, and they want to sell the 115, and they're asking for a 59.5-cent credit on that trade. Okay, so that's a credit spread that they're looking for. Here's a debit spread that they're looking to do. No, this is credit. This is debit. I'm sorry. I had those backward. This is a debit spread. They're going to pay 33. Here they're looking for a credit. Okay. Now, if you see something in here, you can just right click on this and say, analyze the trade. And when you click that analyze, it puts it right over here on the analyze tab so you can analyze this trade. Pretty handy if you're learning options, and you can go see what other people are doing and then see if you know, if that bounces against a chart and looks at all good to you. You can find lots of ideas and learn a lot by using that tool. Okay, so let's say if we look at Microsoft, what do we got going on in Microsoft? See, there's tons of trades sitting in here. I mean, tons. And you can sort these, by the way, but you see there's iron condors, vertical spreads, lots of iron condors and vertical spreads. There's a back ratio spread. Here's a straddle down here. So you can look at these and say, well, what are they doing? And then you can look and try and figure out why they're doing it. Why they would want to be working for something like that. So let's look at this iron condor. It's a 4 contract iron condor. Let's right click on it and analyze it. Okay, so in this iron condor, you can see what they're looking for here is the stock to stay either above or below these levels. Because it looks like they're trying to, I don't know why anyone would want to trade this iron condor this way, but they want it to either stay up here or go up here or stay down here. They don't want it in here. Somewhere in the middle here, they lose money because of the way they're putting this trade on. This could be somebody that doesn't know anything about an iron condor too. You got to realize that there's a lot of bad traders out there. So this is kind of weird iron condor setup. But at least you can kind of learn and see, well, what do they want this to do? They certainly don't want this to be anywhere in this price range right here. They want it to be either below that price or above that price. Again, weird. Kind of a weird condor that they've set up here. So you can get lots of good information. Let's try if we can find something different. Maybe a little bit better condor. Same kind of thing here. They want it to stay out of this area, and they want it to either move down or move up. Again, really kind of weird that I'm seeing so many of those. Don't know why somebody would be doing that, but yeah, they're waiting on the TOS server to be filled. And you'll be able to see what they're asking for in prices right here. Okay. This is what they want. 35-cent debit on this is what they're trying to get filled on. So interesting. Interesting stuff, and you can learn a lot about trades right here in that spread book. Okay, they have another spread book here. You can look in there and see what stuff you can do. Market Watch. Under Market Watch, this is where you can go and find out who's reporting. And notice you can turn on all I've got in here is the earnings checked. But if you wanted to see conference calls, you can find out who has conference calls. You can find out about splits, who's talking about a split. You can, let me drag that up a little bit. Economic events. Okay, turn those on. We know what the economic events are. So you can see lots of different stuff about the market or trades. What companies are reporting dividends? We can look at those. That can be kind of handy to do. There's also like this visualize. This is, you guys have seen one of these before, I'm sure. They call them a heat map. Probably take forever to load on my speed here. Lots of data. That's a heat map of the market, but we can drill it down. So if we wanted to look at just a personal list, we could look at a personal list or public or indexes. So I'm going to go to an index here. And I'm just going to grab the Dow alone. Okay, so here's every company traded in the Dow. And the square in here tells us how big they are by comparison, or how much weight they carry in the market or in that that ETF of the SPY. So obviously Apple carries the biggest weight here in the Dow. So big guy. Microsoft, very big. J&J, very big. Okay. So those are kind of handy at times if you like that kind of information on stuff. You can have price alerts right here. You make your alerts and put them right in here for your trades. And you can also have a quote page right here. And put as many columns in here as you want. Volume, open, high, low. Lots of information to be had in here. There's something on this visual that there's, oh, it's set to heat map. If you do change this to this index watch, you can find out your advancing and declining issues right here. Now it's not working in the paper trade, but it'll tell you how many issues are advancing, how many are declining, how many are optionable, the volume, the capital, and the put call ratio, which is really kind of handy at times. Okay. So you can get lots of good information right there. And then back to the calendar. You guys know about the charts. You know you can have multiple charts, right? You know from your chart, if you're looking at a chart, if you go to Flex Grid, you can set up multiple charts all on one trade, one page. You can go to product depth here. This is all your implied volatility, strike price skews on a specific issue. This is on GE. Futures, all kinds of data in here, more than 99% of anybody will ever use. There's also another charting package on here. It's called Profit Charts. Now, Profits Charts is actually kind of cool because it has software in it to identify patterns. Okay. And you can see this drawing on here. I did not identify this. I did not draw this on the chart. Okay. What it's looking for is this pattern, and that's calling this a flag, bullish flag pattern. And then when you hover over it, see that little green square that shows up there? I can't get it to stay for some reason. That little green square that's flashing and showing up is giving you the projection area of where they think, where this pattern suggests the stock will go to. So it gives you that projection of where they think it'll go. So that's kind of neat if you're looking for that. Also, you can see these highlighted areas here. These highlighted areas are showing candle patterns. So you can see this is a bullish harami. And so if you don't know your candle patterns, you can turn that on, come over here, and it tells you what that candle pattern is if it's a pattern. Is it going away? I don't know. I haven't heard that. It's possible it could be going away. It's pretty handy though if you like this stuff, because it has a lot of things on here that Thinkorswim charts don't have. Okay. And one of the things that I really do kind of like is the pattern. So find patterns. If I open up the find patterns, I get this window that opens up. So general patterns, let's say bullish, continuation, or completed patterns. So I've got all of those checked. Let's find out what patterns we want. Let's just look for let's shut off all of this. Let's see if there's any. Let's leave double top. So all I'm looking for is double bottoms and double tops. Okay. And you can see it already did the look, and it says there's no symbols found. So let's look for, well, we can leave that on. Let's look for head and shoulders and inverted head and shoulders. No symbols found. So let's look for a falling wedge or a rising wedge. Okay, there we go. So AA is showing a rising wedge pattern. Where? I don't see it on there. It may be a bigger chart. No. Huh, it's not showing it on the chart. I don't know why. It called them, but it's not, for some reason it's not showing them on the chart. Maybe it's because it's in paper trade, I don't know. But yeah, I almost prefer profit charts to TOS charts. Here's where you look for candle patterns. Click on that, open this up. You can look for candle patterns, and here's the patterns you could choose from. And it will actually find the candle patterns for you. So if you're learning how to trade or something, that might help you in finding those charts. Oh, I wasn't getting that clicked. I'm sorry. There's AA. There's that there's that pattern. Okay, so it's showing that pattern. It's suggesting that it should go up there to that little green square that's showing up. Big pattern here on AGEN. That's where it's projecting the chart should go based on the pattern. You guys ever seen this before? It's actually kind of interesting, isn't it? That all of this stuff is here and available to you. And I know most people don't use even a fraction of what's available on this platform. So here's another pattern, and you can see it projected it was going to go up. This stock failed and went lower on earnings. So they're not perfect. It's just they're just using a pattern and trying to produce some kind of a projection. This one's suggesting should go up to there. And looking at AMAD and the pattern that it's in, if it holds support, it's very possible it could go up to there. So lots of information here. You'll have to play around with the TOS charts and see if there's something in there you like. Now on the tools does something that's a little bit different. It actually takes you to a different place. My trade, and I don't know if it even works here in the paper trade side, but you can actually follow people on my trade and watch their suggestions of trades. There's lots of stuff there that you can pull information. If there's specific people that you would like to follow, you can do that. This is Chart Trader here. Okay. Chart Trader showing all kinds of potential trades here. There's a think back or a think log. You can log your stuff here. Lots of news and videos, lots of stuff that you can watch here. Okay, now the last thing I want to show you guys before we go is I want to go up to the support chat. I don't think too many people actually use this, and they really should. The support chat button up there takes you to, you can go to support if you have a question or a specific issue on support, but there's a lot of chat rooms here as well. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. There's chat rooms here, and of course on the paper side they're not working. All right, but over here, you know, for example, this guy that they call Shadow Trader, he does a live show every day where you can kind of see what he's doing in the market. The futures cast is interesting because in futures cast you can get the actual floor, what's going on in the S&P pit being called live during the day. You can listen and you can watch the charts of those that are actually calling the live auction in the pits. So there's lots of information here. Trader's Lounge is where you'll be able to get a lot of information on how to use Thinkorswim. The swim lessons are recorded where you can learn more about the software, Thinkorswim, and learn more how to do things. There's lots of video lessons in here on this stuff. Now, I spent a lot of time in here when I was new to Thinkorswim. It's why I've learned how to use so much of this stuff. Is I sought the information out. So I go watch these videos. I go watch these classes that they do. If you may have to do some work with the audio settings in here. If you want to listen to these different broadcasts, sometimes you have to adjust things. So you can come over here and test them. And then seminars will be the Thinkorswim free webinar type stuff that they do all the time. And you can come into here on your live side and watch all of that stuff. And you can search the archive for specific things. You want to know how to do something. Well, it's right there. So there is so much here in this application. It's phenomenal. It's almost overwhelming. There's so much data inside the Thinkorswim platform. Okay. Any questions on any of that? Let's take a quick look at the market here. I'm going to stop this recording. Hope you got something good out of that.